director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau announced that the agency was looking into a rule to cap predatory credit card interest rates. And then Trump fired his ass. Yeah, pretty strange thing to do since Trump campaigned on capping credit card interest rates too. But like most of his working class appeals, Trump actually didn't mean any of it. CFP Director Rohit Chopra was shown the door over the weekend. He's now been replaced by Trump's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, who on Monday assumed the role of acting CFPB director. That means a billionaire hedge fund manager is now in charge of the crucial consumer watchdog agency that ensures people aren't getting screwed by financial institutions. And immediately, Bessent ordered the agency to freeze all its work, including any new consumer protection rules and litigation against misbehaving banks. Bessent is a loyal servant to Donald Trump and to the banks, and it turns out, to Elon Musk, who he's given access to the Treasury Department's highly sensitive payment system that clears trillions of dollars every year. Researcher Nathan Tankis reported that Bessent is playing the role he was nominated by Trump to play. This is from Nathan's latest newsletter, Notes on the Crisis. Quote, Scott Bessent was advised that what Donald Trump wanted in a Treasury Secretary was a person who would have the credibility Steve Mnuchin had with Wall Street, but who would be loyal to Trump above all other considerations. That's according to two sources familiar with the situation. This included, but was not limited to, unconditionally agreeing to work with whomever Trump sent over to the Treasury Department and helping go after Donald Trump's enemies. Now, rooting around the Treasury Department's payment system, the world's richest man and his band of sycophantic dorks could collect the personal information of tens of millions of people, cut off payments to political enemies, provoke a constitutional crisis over spending, and fundamentally compromise how the government distributes its funds. All of this is illegal. Musk is not a federal employee and has not been confirmed by the Senate. In fact, he's sidelined and furloughed the federal employees who are in charge of this stuff. And if Trump were to make Musk one, then that would mean that Musk would have to comply with federal ethics laws on conflicts of interest, which he's currently not doing at all. The New York Times highlighted just how unusual and likely unethical this all is. Quote, there is no precedent for a government official to have Mr. Musk's scale of conflicts of interest, which include domestic holdings and foreign connections such as business relationships in China. And there is no precedent for someone who is not a full-time employee to have such ability to reshape the federal workforce. The Musk takeover isn't just at Treasury. It's also reportedly at the Small Business Administration, the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, and the State Department. At OPM, it's reported that Musk's team has gained access to the personnel records of the entire federal workforce. It even hooked up a commercial server to potentially extract records. That's according to Muskwatch. And embedded in the State Department, Musk played a key role in shutting down the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. Musk called the agency a criminal organization on Twitter, which he's sort of right, but don't get too excited about the dismantling of an agency that's long been exploited for imperial purposes, because neocon Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that he had assumed the role of acting director of USAID. And he claimed that the agency had lost its mission, that it was no longer advancing U.S. interests, and that it would be realigned with the so-called America First agenda. In all likelihood, that means USAID will eventually continue all the nasty imperial work it's infamous for, but moving it to the shadows, while terminating the work USAID was doing that actually provided charity to the world. I mean, this all began with the Trump White House spreading a lie that USAID was giving $50 million to Hamas to make bombs out of condoms. Anyway, as if everything Musk is doing is not disturbing enough, he also has a lackey at the Justice Department who's now threatening to prosecute anyone who reveals information about the people working for Musk in this operation. Wired has already reported who these people are. The 6 engineers assisting Musk in looting the government are named Akash Bubba, Edward Korstein, Luke Ferrator, Gautier Cole Killian, Gavin Kleiger, and Ethan Chautran. If you're wondering why all their names are weird, it's because they're all Zoomers, ranging in age from 19 to their mid-20s. Most have prior affiliations working in Musk's companies or working for other tech oligarchs like Peter Thiel. But when a verified Twitter user posted those names on Musk's social media site, they were immediately suspended. The tweet was deleted, and Musk replied below it, quote, "You have committed a crime." That's right, free speech warrior Elon Musk is suspending accounts that post the names of people currently working for him inside the US government. Apparently, the public doesn't need to know who those people are. Not only that, interim US Attorney for the District of Columbia, Ed Martin, is also working with Elon to potentially prosecute people who, quote, impact the work of the DOGE team. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. He wrote a letter to Musk that read, quote, "I recognize that some of the staff at DOGE has been targeted publicly. At this time, I ask that you utilize me and my staff to assist in protecting DOGE work and the DOGE workers. Any threats, confrontations, or other actions in any way that impact their work may break numerous laws." Martin then tweeted this claim, quote, "Our initial review of the evidence presented to us indicates that certain individuals and/or groups have committed acts that appear to violate the law in targeting DOGE employees. We are in contact with the FBI and other law enforcement partners to proceed rapidly. We also have our prosecutors preparing." So that is the Department of Justice threatening people who tweet about Musk and his team. Let me just end with this somewhat related story. Marco Rubio just announced a new partnership to imprison migrants and potentially even Americans in El Salvador's infamous Supermax prison, known as the Terrorist Confinement Center. Here's a tweet from El Salvador's crypto bro president, Nayib Bukele. Quote, "We have offered the United States of America the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system. We are willing to take in only convicted criminals, including convicted U.S. citizens, into our mega prison in exchange for a fee. The fee would be relatively low for the U.S., but significant for us, making our entire prison system sustainable." Wow. Despite it being obviously unconstitutional to deport American citizens to El Salvador, Rubio called the offer, quote, "the most unprecedented, extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world." Now, I don't want to sound alarmist here, but there's a non-zero chance that in the not-too-distant future, criticizing Elon Musk could get you thrown in a terrorist detention center in El Salvador. Other than that, I say things are going pretty okay. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.